Hey, how you guys doing? It's producer from Brothers Comments. Welcome to the Who Day Over 40 podcast for long time, long suffering Cincinnati Bengals fans. Who Day, everybody. We're 7 days from the NFL draft for 2024, but today is a special day and for two reasons. One, we have Hutch back on the podcast. Hutch, what's happening, man?
What's up?
You've been
What's
away
up?
for quite a long time. I've been running single high safety by myself running this podcast, man. What's been going on?
That's that song by sheesh, Casey and JoJo.
Yeah,
Life. Yeah.
understood. So the other big part of this is 25 years. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it says Happy Akiliversary. 25 years ago, in the 1999 NFL Draft, the Bengals select Akili Smith. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight and all it entailed, as well as look at the Bengals draft in 5 year increments starting from that point. So 99, 2004, 2009, 2014, 2019, covering a couple of different eras, the Bruce Coslet era, what we get into Dick LeBeau there, then into Marvin Lewis, and the first draft for Zach Taylor is the 2019 draft, and nothing good came from that really either. We'll get to that as well. So yeah, we'll jump right in. I know you're already shaking your head. What's the problem, sir?
I just I can't. I walk into this.
Yeah, this is a little bit painful.
That's right. It's a whole lot of colonoscopy painful
Well, again,
with no Vaseline.
yeah, but again, it's I think view things in a large kind of spectrum of seeing things from start to end. This team was so poor in 1999 in so many different ways, and to be where it is right now, to potentially be in a Super Bowl contender in 25 years, that's awful too, a quarter of a century. But also, it's not as bad as it was. It's kind of like when we used to watch the Incredible Hulk on like NBC or that ridiculous Spider-Man show. Like, it was cool to us at the time, but it pales into comparison to what it is now. So what we have now uh, eclipses what it was. So it's I don't know, necessarily fun to look back, but at least you can see the progress that the franchise has made.
I well, I got, and when this is all done, well, I'll come up with my whatever. But I'm in the seat now. I'm tall enough to ride and old
No.
enough to ride.
Noted. All right, so let's look at it. I specifically put these ahead in front of you just for pain. So just you can
Yes,
prepare yourself.
pain.
Yeah. All right. Understood. All right. So let's go back in the Wayback Machine, man. 1998, 1999 season. Bengals finished 3-13 under Bruce Coslet, horrible coach. Remember, Boomer finished 97. He came in and he took over for Jeff Blake, and the Bengals, I think, finished 8-8. And then the Bengals didn't want to bring him back because they didn't want to pay him, and he left. So the Bengals signed Neil O'Donnell, fresh off of getting benched in Pittsburgh, to come and compete with Jeff Blake, which he winds up winning the job and starting 12 games that season. And the Bengals at one point were 2-3, and then wound up finishing 3-13. Any of this sound familiar to you?
Just Novocaine, yo. I need Novocaine.
Right. The promise that was Jeff Blake and the deep ball and all of that just went south so quickly, and his inability to complete an intermediate pass, and everything just went to south so fast. So I'm wondering why they thought Neil O'Donnell was going to be the answer there after he gets a run out of Pittsburgh.
Because Neil O'Donnell was Captain Checkdown,
Mm.
and they thought that he came from a winning franchise. You were at least 2 games we might have a chance in.
Well, they did. They were
Yeah,
2-3.
right. Well, but against that Steeler team
Yeah.
that he came from.
Yeah. Actually, the next to last win of that season is against the
The
Steelers.
Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you pick
So
up the dude you get the team that got rid of him. just
Right.
because he'll play tough. He'll play hard that them 2 games for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty awful.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was a bad time. Coslet was terrible. I mean, there was just nothing there. This is Mike Brown, honestly, at his worst. Even though it's going to get a little bit worse before
Worse.
Marvin
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
hired. Yeah, but this is him at his worst. His inability to pick players, the inability to hire the proper people. Like this is a bad. This is why it's who they over 40 and long time, long suffering right here at that bad the back part of the 90s. All right. So let's move on. So we get to that draft and we got some hard choices, Hutch. Hard choices. So the top 3 quarterback prospects going into that 99 draft, Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, and Akili Smith. So if you're on YouTube, you see the Sports Illustrated cover with, what is that, John the Big Dog? He's RIP, I would assume, right?
I'm assuming.
There's no chance. So Browns are picking first because they were even worse than the Bengals. And the Bengals are picking third with the Eagles stuck in the middle there. Uh, why didn't we pick Donovan McNabb?
You know why?
You can't say that
I can
because
say
look
it.
at who we picked third. You
We.
can't
I
say
can
it,
say it. I
but
can
it ain't
say it.
right.
It ain't right, but I can say it.
Why you picked the black dude on the third pick?
Look, I don't fuck. I really. I bet you they was like Akili. Maybe he's Italian.
1 year starter at Oregon, I believe, running a gimmick offense. He'd probably be a better player in
And
today's
today,
league.
right
Yeah,
now that the leagues are coming, the arena league, right,
right.
where gimmick offenses is the norm now.
Right. And this was a big deal at the time because it really was in between. Couches from Kentucky. So obviously the Cincinnati contingent would have been okay with getting, Tim Couch. Akili, it really winds up being the double consolation prize here, whereas they picking third. Uh, uh, do you remember this time in your life, sir?
Fudge, no.
Okay. I do. We had a black quarterback. We just had a black quarterback. We are drafting another black quarterback. There was an opportunity, I thought, or at least a sense of, hey, this might actually work out. It didn't.
No, that part we got figured out.
Yeah, it
Who in the
didn't.
hell was scouting back then? Because they
Yeah.
should have been extra fired.
Well, we'll spin that forward when we get to the 2024 draft. That remember, this is the time where the Bengals had smallest scouting,
Like
group
none.
in the league. They were still sending the coaches out on the road to do the scouting as well as coaching the games because they were just hella cheap. And this was just a bad time. And so it stands to reckon Mike Brown thinking, well, if I get a quarterback here, then we'll be in good shape. Okay, but then you got to be correct on the quarterback because you've been wrong twice now because Klingler is not that much far above this. And then you're going to get this wrong here in 99 as well. So this was not a great time, like at all. Like I just don't understand. But I'm gonna make you feel worse about it here in a second. And then let's look at
Must you?
I do, but let's look at it this way too. It's not like Tim Couch was any good. Not like he came in and set the league on fire.
Right. So when you get to the overview of this group of people, it's going to come down to one thing.
Pain.
Yeah, pain for the state of Ohio.
Yes, that's
But
also
I was
true.
going to say that, you know, I don't remember none of these. I mean, I remember Couch of all the three of them as their college career. I don't remember
Right.
nothing about Donovan McNabb.
What is it,
He
Syracuse?
went to right. Who
Yeah.
watched Syracuse anything other
Back
than
then, not
basketball?
basketball. Right.
Right. So I
Mhm.
mean, and he's black, whatever.
Right.
So it came down. The overview. It came down to coaching. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, I think it's just lack of scouting, And then again, they don't do Akili any favors when he does get drafted. He holds out for it was a significant number of days, which
Right.
that was just the standard for the Bengals at the time.
Right.
And again, hey, you worried about your picks holding out? Thank Mike Brown for the rookie salary cap because he's the one that essentially got that push through, eventually getting everybody on board with it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hail Mary, full of grace from New Orleans. So the opportunity for the Bengals to save themselves was presented to them 25 years ago. Mike Dicker, an idiot. Is he dead? Did he die?
I don't think he died. I
You
don't
sure?
think. I
I
know
know
I'm
he
not.
went to the
He,
dark
yeah,
side.
right. He did
Yeah,
a he
but
did a Ric Flair. He was
yeah,
they got the rosemary beads out and everything, and
okay. I
I don't
thought he
know. I
kicked.
don't know if he went all the way,
All
but
right.
he
Well,
was
he
close.
wants to. He's coaching the Saints at the time. He wants to move up to draft Ricky Williams, and he offers his entire draft to teams in the top five, which would have been 8 picks, 1, 3, 4, 5. Like it was 8 total picks, and with a first and a third, they didn't have a second. And to get into the top four, it gets offered to the Browns, it gets offered to the Eagles, it gets offered to the Bengals too. Before the former Redskins actually take that pick and get all of those picks from the Saints. So the Bengals could have had an opportunity to have their entire draft picks on top of the Saints' 8 other draft picks to come out of the draft with NAM 16 picks. At some point, you probably would have, I mean, you would have fallen into it, a Pro Bowler with 16 picks, you think, right?
Maybe.
I mean, come on. How could you miss with that many
Uh,
picks?
we went. We damn near went. We went 30 years without winning a playoff game. We can figure it
That's
out.
fair. That's fair. So, okay, side brother topic. Mike Dicker should have been hella fired before the clock
All,
struck midnight that night.
all this, all right. But the Saints were quote unquote so bad that this is the shit that they were down to. You
Right.
were right. Them top 3, 4, 5 picking teams were so fucking horrible
Right.
that this shit went down.
Mm. And then Ricky Williams at the time, that's before we found out he had like an anxiety disorder, and then before his weed got out of control. Like, I mean, not that, and again, he had if he had played his entire career, he'd probably have a Hall of Fame career. But he, he just couldn't kind of put the weed down. And again, in a league that now, they don't really care about it all that much. Kind of a trailblazer.
They kind of don't really care about it back then either.
Yeah.
We didn't care about you. I mean, they cared about it only because the government cared about it.
Yeah, right. A trailblazer of the Portland variety back in his day.
Right. Well, was that a pun?
Yes.
Thanks. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, I was sure Google up to see if
My dick is still alive.
he is still alive. Okay.
I mean,
never
yeah,
mind.
he's 70 something. He's 80 something. He's born
Yeah.
1939. The number.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So the Redskins wind up taking those picks and drafting whoever they drafted. Although I think the only person that they got out of that draft that turned into somebody was Champ Bailey. And the rest of them was Fugazi too, because we have to understand the Redskins then and a little bit now, a trash franchise. We just didn't know it because they had all the
Champ Bailey went to
previous
the Hall of
championships or
Fame.
whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's a trash franchise run by a trash person at that time who just finally sold that team. All right. So yeah.
He owned them back in 99?
I believe he was still there, wasn't he?
He might have been.
Dan Snyder. I think Snyder was the owner then too.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? No. When did Spurrier wind up coaching? Because I think that was his first hire, and that was 2000 and something. Spurrier was still with Florida, I think.
But you whatever. I mean, it's not going to be on the test, but yeah.
Noted. All right, let's make it hurt some more, sir.
All right, man.
All right, so the Bengals, who don't trade away 8 picks that they could have gotten, make all of their picks. They make 9 picks, I believe. And look at the names on this list, sir. Akili Smith, Charles Fisher, I think is a DB from West Virginia. Yeah. Corey Hall, cornerback. Craig Yeast, the wide receiver from Kentucky. Look at the names, sir. Is there anybody that sticks out?
Why?
Does anybody stick out? I'm just saying they had a whole 9 picks on a draft and didn't find one player that. I mean, that Charles Fisher had a cup of coffee with the Bengals, and Corey Hall did.
Corey
too.
Hall something.
He had a couple of coffee as well. But in terms of draftable players that really stayed in the league or even with the Bengals and contributed,
Well,
Come on,
first
son.
off, like after the third round, everything else is usually a toss anyway.
Right. Yeah, but at some point you at least recognize the names. A whole bunch of school teachers
First,
on here.
but it's 1999. I'm lucky to remember Akili Smith at this point. That's just 25 years ago.
Oh my goodness. I think what Kelly Craig, the D tackle, he had a cup of coffee too, right?
There ain't
That sound
are
familiar?
you hell no. I'm like for that fourth grade grandson or something.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's bad. So, like I
Hell,
said, everybody that's listening here, we are going to go in 5-year increments, okay? Because essentially, what's the NFL career? The average NFL career is a little under 3 years. So, a 5-year thing, you should be able to. Oh, this guy got drafted in 5 years. They have either averaged themselves out of the league or they've excelled to the point where they actually stayed on to the team, and you might be able to remember them. Maybe even when you get to the next draft, but that's not going to happen here for the Bengals. So if you remember, as we transition into the new millennium, since they struck out at quarterback, that's when they bring in Kitna to kind of be the bridge guy or whatever till they have to draft another quarterback. So we jump ahead 5 years where they have drafted that quarterback. And who is that quarterback? It's Carson
Carson.
Palmer. Yeah, it's Marvin's second year, Carson Palmer's first year as the starter. And, okay, well, I think we got our franchise quarterback. We got to get some offensive players around him. First pick, Chris Perry out of the school up north. Go ahead and give your rant in.
Fuck him. You know what you're doing to me is really almost telling me that fucking history repeats itself.
Well, yeah, it's gonna get worse, by the way. So he was not good. This is the first time I'd ever heard of a sports hernia. The rumor and innuendo is that he was not happy to be drafted by the Bengals, and let them know about it repeatedly, and was not a successful first round pick at pick number 26. And I believe this was a trade back because the Bengals, I think, finished 8-8 that season, and I believe they traded back, which is why they have 2 number 2s.
Shouldn't we have got the dude who went to the Falcons, right? Or he went to the Rams first. What was his name?
Oh, the dude from Georgia.
What was his blankety blank name?
As you're looking that up, any of these names jump off the page. Keywan Ratliff, Medee Williams, he had a few cups of coffee, and he actually signed with a different team when he left. I think he signed a free agency with the Vikings. Caleb Miller was here for a while. This was Marvin.
Some of these names do.
Yeah, they stuck around. Yeah.
Robert Gathers.
Gathers. 11 years in the league. All of them with the Bengals.
Stacey Andrews stayed. I mean, this is except for that first pick. Well, Keon Ratliff probably.
No, Medee Williams played some quality safety there.
I'm saying except for that first pick.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I mean,
Matthias Askew washed out at D tackle.
Right, yeah. They were Bengal enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look at all those picks: 1 first, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 3 4s.
The Bengals were shopping at not Sam's Club. They're shopping at Kmart trying to find diamonds.
Blue light specials. Right. Yeah, and again, that philosophy but again, all right, our philosophy is, well, we're going to take a bunch of picks and eventually we'll hit on some. Then why didn't you take all them picks from the Saints?
That's the dumb. That's all time, and that shit happened again too. But that's no
right. You had 16. You would have had 16 chances to find somebody. Get your quarterback some other time. Roll O'Donnell out there again. The next year they went from 3-13 to 4-12. Didn't matter.
It was Steven Jackson. That's who they could.
Steven Jackson, yes, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that messed that up. Yes, Chris Perry, y'all. Sports hernia did not
came in pan out. He didn't aluminum out.
I mean, honestly, a first round pick. Can you remember any play that he made of any significance in 4 years?
What his best play ever? The
call back on a hole.
Yeah, call back on some shit. Yes. And he got hurt on what, a preseason
Uh,
tore up his knee, or was that him?
I don't think that was him. But yeah, the sports hernia is the thing that took him out like most of his first. I think that was his first season. But yeah, look at this. He rushed for 606 yards in his career, sir. Yeah,
I,
I know.
I'm only 607 behind,
Yeah, terrible.
and a couple, maybe a couple million too. So
Understood. Two career touchdowns, though. All right, here
uh,
we go. Awful. All right, so we'll go into 2009. Then we'll still be at the almost at the end of the Carson era as he gets fed up and he wants out before we start the Andy Dalton era. All right, so
this is some. You are really trying to. I did this. I'm writing you up. This is criminal.
so 2009. Uh, Andre Smith is the pick, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. He was the sixth pick. They viewed him as a right tackle. You do not draft right tackles with top 5 picks. But outside of that, I mean, he has a long career in the league. He plays for the Bengals, he leaves, he comes back like a couple of times, I believe.
He does come
You
back a
know,
couple of times,
uh,
like
the photo
herpes.
the photo I'm using, is from his failed. I think that was his pro day. He showed up hella out of shape, and did not do himself any favors.
At
But
least, at
look at
least
that
it.
draft, though. It's fairly successful. Like through the first 3 picks, it falls apart after that until you get to Kevin Huber, who was a Pro Bowl punter. But there were some people that played in the league here: Smith, Ray Maluga, Michael Johnson. These are all second contract players for the Bengals. And then, like I said, Hooper was here for what, 10 years? Easy. As a
The
as a solid punter, he got a lot of practice.
he got a lot of practice, and
But
we went to the playoff that year, right?
2009, I do believe that's the year we lose to the Jets. So
Right,
yeah,
that horrible. Well, I mean, so
yeah. I mean, but look at that. There's quality players there. They did
right.
well.
It's right. Michael Johnson, he's a boomerang. He came back.
Yep. Second contract guy, Ray Maluga. I mean,
Raymond
if
Lucas never left Cincinnati. I think he's in
yep.
jail now.
No, he's not. Follow him on
Whatever.
Twitter. He's found Jesus.
Hey,
And then,
man,
like I
he
said,
was a stalemate. Oh man,
Andre Smith boomeranged a couple of times back to the Bengals. But I mean, this was a solid draft for them. But again, look at all the picks. So while you were away, though, I did 2 parts on a thing about, why the Bengals suck in the trenches. Because they don't value it. When we get to the draft here coming up, they don't value it. Like defensive tackles, offensive linemen. Look at, if we go back, just five. Go
the
back.
NFL didn't value.
Understood it, but teams that do value it place premium picks on it. So if you go back to 2004, the Carson Palmer era, the first time they take an offensive lineman is round 4 with Stacey Andrews. That's the only offensive lineman they take. Now, again, you were going through this area where you were cycling through Levi Jones, and Whitworth is coming here in a second, and uh uh Willie Anderson is coming out. Like, you had some Pro Bowl and then / Hall of Fame kind of talent there, but you are picking. Look, Matthias Askew, defensive tackle, in the 4th round, washed out 2 years. Like, they just didn't value. They didn't put a premium on it. Like, oh, we'll just get somebody later. We'll just get somebody later. And so in this draft, they go Andre Smith, Jonathan Luigi, Zola. They needed a center, washed out completely, didn't play. And then Clint McDonald, he did play, but I think he did well like in Seattle, not necessarily for the Bengals.
Which I'm gonna go. That goes back to my coaching thing too a little
Right. But
bit.
I'm just saying, like, if you don't put any value on the offensive line and the defensive line, I mean, they like to draft ends, but not defensive tackles. You're going to get the results that you're getting, which is where we are right now. All
It's
right.
but the top of the draft or whatever should be for skilled players for the most part. I mean, drafting offensive linemen in the top 5, top 10. I mean,
You bet,
that's not the norm.
but that's where the Pro Bowlers are.
that's where the Pro Bowlers are. Yes, at offensive linemen, but people aren't buying the jerseys of offensive linemen.
Understood, but that's not what you. Well, if we don't do that, then that's why our quarter. Let's go to 2014. 2014. Love that picture at the top there.
Oh,
Yeah. Look at this draft. Darquez Denard. This was this thing where we kept drafting cornerbacks in the first round.
right.
That didn't work out. He sucked. He
Yes, he
sucked.
super sucked. Yes.
Yeah, he was bad. And you spent a 24th pick on him.
Right.
Jeremy Hill, known for that picture on there again. If you're watching on YouTube,
I mean, just the. I mean, that was. Is that the worst playoff game I watched?
he was just
Playoff
back.
game, not Super Bowl game.
He
Playoff.
was just back in Cincinnati the other day. He tweeted the fumbler is back or something, like he was in Cincinnati for
Right.
something.
Right.
So he
That's and
he
that and
shouldn't be able
that's
he
his
shouldn't be able to come
lawyer.
over. He shouldn't be able to come over that damn bridge. Like
Right.
honestly, somebody should be waiting there,
Right.
like for him to see him in a car
Corey
and turn him
Dillon
away.
should be more. Hell, damn Von Offenlopper, whatever that Ooper Looper who knocked out fucking the quarterback. Carson Palmer should be more welcome than that F nut.
Yeah. But look at this draft. This is the starting of the fall here for Marvin Lewis, even though it doesn't happen for 5 more freaking years. Denard bust. Jeremy Hill, good for 1 year, busted out from the fumble.
The fumble.
Yeah, it
That's
killed him.
his catch.
Killed his
That's his,
confidence.
right.
Yep. Will Clark, washout defensive end.
Super awful.
Russell Bodine, we rolled him out at center for years until we replaced him with Billy Price, who was worse. Worse. But again, 4th round pick for a freaking defensive, an offensive lineman.
He was glad to be playing. He could have been
Yep.
selling tires.
I just seen AJ McCarron play in the UFL, so he's still around. He had a cup of coffee with the Bengals at the end of last season, came back,
Right.
and the rest of these dudes, a bunch of Jags.
Right. Well, I mean,
people.
hey, they got drafted in the NFL, and that's their claim to fame, to our knowledge.
Well, we let them probably hang out on the team for longer than they should have, but sure. All right. So Jeremy Hill, I mean, he's the most memorable player from that draft, but for all the wrong reason. The absolute worst reason possible. All right.
Not the worst reason.
Well,
but
worst football reason.
But he's the worst football reason.
Correct. Also losing the playoffs this year as well. And the next to last year. That's a whole nother story. All right. And then so finally Marvin gets run. Thank God. Finally gets run. We get to the Zach Taylor era. And he has his first
beginning
draft.
of Zach Taylor. It would have been nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pun intended. This is awful. His first draft is boy, oh boy. Only 2 dudes left on the team from 5 years ago. If you take that in, it's Drew Sample and Jermaine Pratt.
Did you see that article in the news or ESPN or somebody had an article where how many people do you still have on your team from 5 years ago? I think the Falcons were first with like 6 or 6.
Yeah.
But so basically the turnover is high.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this is probably much of the average. I'm sure, 5 years down the road, that's fine. But Jonah signed with the Cardinals in the free agency this year. Drew Sample back with the Bengals on a 1-year deal. Jermaine Pratt signed his extension last season. The rest of these dudes, I think Michael Jordan may still be in the league. Not that Michael Jordan, y'all. The bad one who got our quarterback's knees shredded. And I don't think the rest of these dudes. I think Travion Williams is still with the Bengals.
Yeah, he's
That's right. So 3 people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, he has no shot of making a team this year, but sure, go nuts.
Go, yeah.
And then the rest of these are just a bunch of, just another guy.
Right.
So this is bad.
Talk to the Rock.
Yeah, this is bad too. And as Zach came in 2019, that process of turning the team and the draft over to Duke Tobin really started to kind of take place. And, this idea of who they wanted, the type of player they wanted, it started to, come into place more recently with these drafts moving forward. So that means a week from today, it's the 2024 draft, man. Who you picking? Because if you don't pay any attention to the trenches again, and this is supposedly historically a good to great draft for offensive tackles. Who are you picking? We're gonna mock up here in a minute, but who are you taking, Hodge? You got to have a player that's coming in and playing.
This has been my mindset since shit. I guess since old boy went down last year to not get back up.
Mm,
Down. I should have put up old boy who just recently died, Carl Weathers, with
mm,
his shit from Rocky. There is no tomorrow.
right.
That
Yeah.
you gotta pick whoever you need to get to be holding up that fucking trophy in February.
Agreed.
And
And
I
I don't. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was like, so I don't know who that motherfucker gonna be, but whoever if you think it will should be, I mean, and move up in the draft, do something creative,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, you got 6 playoff games guaranteed, and this the fucking Steelers, the Browns, and the fucking Ravens, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't fucking beat them, we home for the holidays.
Right. And I think the mindset should be shifted in that direction. And I kind of feel just on the outside looking in that it has. There's no red shirt first round, second round, even third round picks. Those and you have 2 third rounders. Those dudes need to come in and be able to give you significant snaps. No projects like, oh, we're going to move him to, you know,
Nope.
guard and and whatever, and let
No.
him sit and learn. No, no, no. They need to come
No.
in. If you're going to do that, then trade the picks and move up to get the people that you want that can
Right.
come in and play. Because you don't need. Well, they got 9 picks. You certainly don't need. Not, there's not 9 positions available on this team. So
Or if there is, we're in trouble.
right.
More trouble than I already think we already are.
Right. So we'll move into the mock draft portion of this. It's not Monday, but we'll move into the mock draft portion. And let's see if we can do this present here. It's always a challenge. Share screen. Mock
But yeah,
draft.
well, we can't wait. I mean, the waiting is over. The old boy,
Right.
he's in year 5 now.
This
6,
is year 5.
year 5. You about to? We all heard that. I thought I saw. I heard T. Higgins is going to stay with the Bengals.
He did say
Hooray!
that.
Right,
Yes. For
hooray!
this season. Correct.
Right. This is right, right. This is it for about 3 known folks for sure,
Right.
whether they know it or not.
Yeah. So we're not going to force any trades here. I slowed the clock down so we can start to see there are been some people that have mocked several people to the Bengals that it's starting to get kind of
Tight end.
crystallized. And then from listening to other pods or whatever, it feels like it's leaning towards defensive tackle over offensive tackle in round 1. So let's see if this plays out. Here we go.
Well, that one dude from Texas killed him, or not killed his draft status.
Well, that's not the one they're thinking about. So wow, so
Right,
a
right,
lot of the
right. That
tackles
other
ran
one.
here. So a lot of the people that have been mocked to the Bengals, Vanuatu, who goes right before the Jacksonville, Latham was gone as well. Joe Alt, Olawashu from what that Penn State. Like I mean, all of these dudes are gone. So there's gonna be a run on tackles. There's a possibility that Brock Bowers winds up dropping that far, but I can't see it. But also, if it did happen, y'all really need to run that card up there, and y'all just got to figure it out
Yeah,
with your quarterback and not
right,
getting
right.
killed.
You have right. You have to
Yeah,
right. You have to whatever you can get. You need the best at that position. Tackle, tight end. Hell, if you get Marvin Harrison Jr. at this point, I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Whatever. We go. We're going to go. I mean, the league has become the arena league anyway.
Mhm.
Fuck it. Go for it.
So yeah, so Fashanu goes to the tackle run here. Fashanu at 10, Latham at 11, Bowers goes to Georgia at 12, Fuaga
Go to Denver at
at
12.
13. Well, I mean, Denver
Yeah, don't
taking a
worry.
tight end with no quarterback. So,
Um,
Fatanu from Washington, that's somebody that's been mocked to the Bengals. So if we go look to see who's available, we don't need Cooper DeJean. There's no defensive end that's gonna get snaps. Just Jazar
that
Newton,
that dude, I see
that
him a lot
dude.
now.
But
Yeah.
Byron Murphy is the one who has a lot of the buzz and for Cincinnati at this point, the defensive tackle from Texas as well. It becomes one of those things. Do you take the tackle there, or do you go down and take like a Marius Mims to play right tackle, or to learn at right tackle? Is going to be behind Trent Brown for a year. But again, you're drafting a player that's not going to play. What's the point?
Right. You
You
got
know,
all
yeah,
hands on deck.
right.
All hands
Murphy's
on
gonna
deck.
play for
Right.
sure. Murphy's gonna play. So that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards the defensive tackle. And then if I'm gonna get a offensive tackle that's gonna learn, I'll get him in a later round. So what do you think?
Get that
Mims or
defensive
Newton?
tackle.
Murphy or Newton?
Stay out of the Big Ten. Murphy.
Taking Murphy. Hit the wrong button. All right, so draft Byron Murphy. All right, we're getting into round 2, y'all. Bengals are allegedly looking for a skill position player like a wide receiver. A lot of smoke about Lad McConkey. He goes 32, so that's not happening.
I don't know
Newton
why
goes
I don't
into
know
the
why
second
people love
round
that
too.
damn McConkey dude. Other than I don't
Well,
understand.
you know why. All right. So Jordan Morgan, the tackle from Oregon, goes 2 picks before the Bengals. And again, this is a spot where the Bengals should be thinking about trading up. Like, they definitely should be trading up. If there's a player that they want, they need to go and get him. Hell, go get the tackle that you want, at the start of the second. But you get that night between rounds 1 and 2. All right. So they want a skill position player, maybe a wide receiver. Troy Franklin is there. That might be something. I can't see it. I know we're staying away from the school up north.
Hey man, that fucking locker room is damn near blue and maize as it is.
Yeah, they got a lot. So what are you
And we
thinking?
suck.
So what are you thinking? The value pick is not there
It
at
ain't.
there's a tackle from Yale. We're not taking
Right,
anybody
and
from there. Come on, son.
we don't need any doctors, or we do,
Correct.
but right.
Yeah, so if you go back to the top there, do you take the skill position player? Troy Franklin is somebody that they have an interest
I don't
in.
think we need a receiver this year. I
Right.
mean, not the second round anyway.
Right. And this is where it gets
We're
goofy if you
stuck.
don't take a tackle. Yeah, if you don't take an offensive tackle in round 1, you get stuck.
You stuck.
You're stuck. I have no idea what to do here. You don't want to
I
overdraft.
don't think no more. And none of these dudes are. I mean, what the fuck would I trade for any of these bums?
Right. There's no. Jatavian Sanders, the tight end. And maybe you could double down, take Fisk from Florida State, the defensive tackle, and you double up. I can't imagine they do that. We don't need another safety. We got a bunch of them.
We got a bunch of
Chris Jenkins
no
to double
covering
up on
safeties.
tackles. I'd probably lean towards doubling up on defensive tackles or taking a wide receiver.
I might double on defensive tackles too.
Yep.
You can't. I mean, fucking buying beef by the pound. Sure,
Again,
go for
what
it.
did I say? Why do the Bengals suck in the trenches? Because they don't put value picks. I sent you that thing, right? It was the curse of Big Daddy Wilkinson. But they haven't drafted.
You put that thing out. Yes,
Yeah.
the 99 curse. Yes.
Yeah, the number curse of 99, and they haven't drafted a defensive tackle in round 1 since then.
Right.
Which would, again, if they take Murphy, that would be a breaking a trend here. I'm gonna take Fisk, and we just double up on D tackles. We still haven't gotten an offensive lineman. That's probably not a great idea. All right, let's go into round 3. Maybe a tackle will fall to us. There goes Patrick Paul. That's not good. They're just rolling through. We got 2 third-round picks. And you know what? If the funny thing is, the dude from Ohio State. Oh wow, Roku went the 3rd round. The dude from Ohio State, the defensive tackle, is still there. He has a 4th round grade on here, but people think he's gonna go in the 2nd. What's his name? Hall.
All the Bengals, well, the other
Ohio
Bengals,
State.
and yes, the other Bengals in Columbus.
Yeah,
them F nuts, they suck too. Their defense sucked.
So man, I'm telling. This is like the nightmare scenario where you wind up. There's no tackle.
What did you hear? I mean, I guess the best tackles are front loaded.
Yes, they are. You could
So
take Cooper Beebe. You're overdrafting him. You could probably get him in the with your supplemental pick, like at guard. But you still don't have a tackle. Like you just don't have a tackle.
you don't have no tackles. There's,
You
I
have no
mean, we
tackles.
did get one in free agency, right?
Yeah, but he's only signed for a year. It's
Right, right.
gonna
He's up.
we
Right. He's right. We're the Bengals front office is like fuck. Last year was it, but this is really it.
oh okay. So the Bengals, the Cleveland Brown quarterback jersey plate thing, right? Where it has all the
All the
27 quarterbacks that have started. Okay,
right.
so we have one running here for right tackles. Can you name the 5 different right tackles that have started for the Bengals in the last 5 years?
Uh, mm, other than that one we just got sent to Arizona, good riddance.
Okay, that's one. Jonah.
That Jonah, right? When did Ken Roller's case was the left tackle, wasn't he? But
That
that was
what?
6 years
Nah, it's
ago.
past then. He was left anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. Shit.
last 5 years since Zach Taylor.
Since Zach Taylor, fuck, who was the motherfucker before? Slapnuts. Um,
I'll give you a hint. Bobby
Paris?
Hart.
No, Bobby
Bobby
Hart.
Hart.
Oh yeah, that Collins dude. When
Which
that what was Lele or Lele, whatever his name, Collins, when he the right tackle?
Lyle
Yeah,
Collins. Yes,
yeah,
he is also one of them.
right. So yeah, that fuck nut.
Riley Reef.
Right,
We signed him as a free agent from the Packers.
right.
Jonah.
Jonah.
Yep. And then there's one other one. Oh, I think you did. No, you got Lyle in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful. You
Hell,
need a right tackle.
you need well, if the other dude works out,
Yeah.
I still like to get rid of the left guard and the center.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, even without finishing this, like, we are without an offensive lineman and we're getting into the 3rd round and you don't have one.
Right.
That's why
and what we know it, everybody else in the fucking league knows it.
right. That's what I'm saying. Don't you almost have to pick a tackle at 18. You almost have to. Unless you trade back into the 2nd to get a pick. You almost have to take an offensive tackle.
So, but all the good tackles were gone by the time we got.
Well, again,
18.
based on this mock, you have no idea overall. But yeah,
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, and that even still, that's a crapshoot.
Correct.
So, but I mean, as far as linemen go, I would say, I would be like, look, get somebody that's already been in the league. They blocked for fucking that Oopa Loopa that went to Baltimore now,
right?
Or the Eagles, or somebody like that.
But here's the problem: you gotta pay.
You gotta pay.
It's the Rob Peter pay Paul situation. So the reason that they can't hit on defensive tackles and offensive linemen is the reason we don't have Jesse Bates. It's the reason we don't have T. Higgins too, because we should be paying some rookie or some rookie wage scale, but our whole offensive line outside of Volson is all free agents. You got to pay.
Hey, I was the one saying figure out a way not to pay a T or get something for him, and we did. That was fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if you had drafted like 2 quality offensive linemen already, you would have had to not spend that money on those free agents, and you would have had the money to sign somebody else.
I'm here. I don't know if you probably answered already, but would you do the draft 3 years ago differently? Should we got the lineman and not got Chase?
No, you get the dude that's gonna for sure score touchdowns, and that worked out. But at some point, though, you've had. But think about it, though. How many drafts have you had since then, and you didn't get it? That same draft we got Jackson Carman. He sucks.
He do suck.
Oh, the following year we got Zach Carter, a defensive tackle. He sucks.
Right.
Like you can't hit Deontay Smith. He sucks. Like you see what I'm saying? Like you can't keep whiffing on these linemen, man. It just can't happen. Like it just can't. That's what I'm saying.
The game, but unfortunately, the game is rigged already.
But you
can pick. You pick 5 offensive linemen. Shit, 3 of them are going to wash. Or three
So,
of anything, three of any position, really. Right. Even quarterbacks.
but you
I
got to
mean,
hit.
it's 50-50.
You got to hit eventually, and they haven't at
Right.
all,
Or,
especially
or
under Zach.
or or the other thing is coaching.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. Like they haven't. Hey, you drafted these dudes in the third and fourth round, develop them into starters, and they haven't done that either. So I put that at the feet of the offensive line coach too. I agree. So in this mock draft situation, though, I have no freaking idea what you do here. Like in this third round pick, I
I
have
mean,
no idea.
even if you, I mean, we don't need. I don't think we need a wide receiver this year, for sure,
Right.
to be picking.
Sure.
I mean, we
Like,
do
well,
need.
not
I
maybe
think we
in
need a tight. We need a tight end, but anything. I'm guessing everything in here in the tight end world is breaching.
right. Yeah. I mean, again, you did sign Gasecki, so you have. Well, he's really not. He's a tight end by name only. But I don't know.
Right, right.
I'm gonna take Kyrie Jackson the corner because we need one of them too. I'm just gonna take it. I
Yeah,
just it's
a
terrible.
corner from the
Oregon.
no longer the
Actually, you know
Pacific.
what? I should have taken
Pac, but
Jeremiah Trotter. I should have taken Jeremiah Trotter. That's probably what I should have done because they do need a downhill linebacker. Uh, he's
no
gone
one,
by now.
but I mean, but no one gives. I mean, that's another. Like I said, defense is dead in the NFL now, or
Right.
almost.
There's Cade Stover. He sucks. Ben
He
Sennett
sucked, and
dropped
they'll
out.
probably draft him too
Yeah,
because
Michael Hall. There's no way he gets to round four or round into the round three. I can't imagine. But I already drafted two defensive tackles, so I'm not gonna draft a third. This Christian Mahogany dude, he that thing I sent y'all from uh, maybe I didn't, but like the dude that he, picking Bengals players that fit their profile, 4-year captains, love ball, like all these things. This dude was like one of their guys, like would kind of fit there as a guard. So yeah, Christian Mahogany, why not? Let's take him.
because we will see. Oh well,
I've earned two
see.
rewards. I don't know what that means.
Well,
Let's
you
see. In
cheap,
our grading our
you
draft,
cheap bastard.
grading our draft.
See.
No, two A's, two C's. Yeah, not great. So I just
I mean, what? But them. I mean, third rounders should do something. But
they
yeah,
should be playing.
but does any? Are there any A picks in the fucking third and fourth round?
I mean, again, that's based on value.
Right.
It's
I don't
based
think
on
there's any.
value. Hold on. Let's do one other one here. Hold on. What was that Pro Football
But
Focus?
this is here. This is the here thing. I think that our coach, our main Zach
Mm-hmm.
Taylor. I think he's on the. I'm gonna say he's kind of on a warm seat.
He's definitely not. There's no
If
thought.
his I think his ass is hot. If we
He's
no
definitely not.
not knocked out again, he's his ass. If the other three teams make the playoffs and we don't, his ass.
I definitely that you know how this team operates. It's still not there. The wheels would have to
Here's the
fall off
thing.
completely.
Here's the thing. You're paying your. We still have the highest paid player in the game, right?
Correct.
Right, for whatever. And now you're about to eat. You got a $21 wide receiver on one side, and the other mother blanker, he'll get his share, I guess. But he about to go
Mm-hmm.
for 20 something $million too.
Uh,
We better win some out of this shit.
right. Like no, I don't necessarily disagree with that part, but I don't think that at any point in time, unless it completely falls apart, that Zach is on the hot seat.
So
All right, let's
you
do this
think so?
other.
And we do the same. We do the same this season. You don't think you can get
I
hot?
mean, again, if if it's if the quarterback is healthy and for the entire season and that happens, I still don't think he'll be on the hot seat or for that, but like things will get interesting at that point. But he ain't getting fired. I don't even think it'll get hot. Like, because as long as Joe Burrow wants him there, he's gonna be there. That's basically it.
Well, that's the
All
other
right.
thing. That Joe Burrow is running his team now.
Well, it's most star quarterbacks do.
They
So,
do. I'm saying, but ugh.
all right. Sorry. Let's run this through. Sorry, we moved over to Pro Football Network. I put it through for 4 rounds. Well, let's do it where we take a freaking tackle at this point. No trades. 2 trade offers. Oh yeah. So who we taking? Mims, the offensive tackle from Georgia.
Them Georgia players are crazy. They're good
Uh,
though. They're crazy.
right.
Fuck it, go
He's the
for it
only
before somebody
tackle.
else takes it. Right,
Yep.
go for it. If it makes you hear,
And
who is
maybe a
that? Oh,
tackle
that's Russell
falls.
Cheryl Crow.
Maybe a defensive tackle that we like falls to round 2. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Oh, Lad McConkey looking like he's gonna fall here, or did he get picked at the bottom of the first? Dang it! There he goes to Texas. Why would the Texans take him? They got plenty of wide receivers at this point. No trades. All right, Jackson Powers Johnson. Wow, he's a game changing center. He wouldn't play this year. He has no position versatility. Like he can't play guard. He's only a center. That means you'd be drafting him to redshirt to take
We
over for
have red shirts.
Karras. Yep, that's what
No red
I think the
shirts.
same thing. This Rook Aurora, the defensive tackle from Clemson, he's a big body. Then you get your offensive tackle, your defensive tackle. He's got a grade at 47. We're picking at 49. What do you think?
I think we're fucked.
Or do you take Zach Frazier, the center from West
You know what?
Virginia?
Take that mother blanket. Number
The center?
42. Yeah. Or
40, the center or a Rook or
wait a minute.
Row?
A
The defensive tackle.
Fuck. Wait a minute. Jackson Powers Johnson is a center too, right?
Correct.
Or no. Yeah, they're
He
both
is a center.
center. What about
Yeah.
and Frazier is too?
Yeah, Zach Frazier is the same, but he has position versatility. He could play guard. Jackson Powers
42.
Johnson.
42.
All right. We have no defensive tackles now, by the way. We've just done the opposite of what happened in the last
one. Right.
So you got to get a defensive tackle. Maybe Arukaro will last to round 3. Or you take Michael Hall if he lasts.
The Bengals had to get creative in this draft. That's what they're going to
agree.
do.
They're going to have to. There goes Michael Hall.
Get to pull out the Jefferson soundtrack. Moving on up. You got to win now. You got to win now. Like nobody's fucking business.
All right. Pick 80. We drafted an offensive tackle and a center. Have no defensive tackles. If we move over to the defensive side and look at the D tackles, now you brought up the other defensive tackle from Texas that got caught on the Dewey. Yeah, right. I'm sure the Bengals have him off their board. There's no way.
Right.
He's there at 93. I just can't imagine that happening.
They're not going to do it.
They had Mason Smith, the defensive tackle, in from LSU. They had him in for a visit. He is a big body D tackle.
Take him. And this is
all right.
Of course, it's going to be a C draft too. But
no, I would have taken Trotter if he had fallen, but he didn't. All the players still available. Blake Corum goes to Green Bay. The Bengals like Will Shipley, the running back from Clemson. He's a white fella. Blake Fisher went 95. Wow. The tackle from Notre Dame. All right, what are you looking at here? These are your best availables. Now, see, to me, I know homeboy got busted. I'm taking Sweat if he's there at 97.
At 100 or 97?
Yes, at 97 with my supplemental 3rd round pick, I'm taking him. And
you know what? I'm down. Sure, we'll take another
and assigning him somebody that can
Right.
Keep
He
him
does. He
out of over the
out
line.
of the bars and
Yeah,
right.
keep him
But
out.
it's
Yeah,
oh
don't
wait a minute,
not
I just
pair him.
you just paid me a $500,000.
Yeah, do not pair him with Pac-Man, and we'll
Don't
get through
you
round
can't
four, and
go
that'll
to
be it.
Dayton either.
Yeah, stay out of there too. So we had a tackle, a center, and two D tackles. We doubled up on the offensive line. We have paid attention to the trenches. Finally, maybe get a
I think
skill
we
position
got
player
to,
here.
got to,
Yeah,
got to, got to.
Audric. I hate Notre Dame players.
I hate Notre Dame players. I hate Big Ten players.
Mm,
I right
hate everybody.
too slow. I hate Pac-12 players on defense for sure.
Any running backs, wide receivers. Javon Baker from Luke McCaffrey's hanging out down there, but he's 155. Javon Baker from UCF, Brendan Rice from USC. That's Jerry Rice's kid. Um,
He's the
that would
Bronny
be
James
weird.
of right. He's the Bronny
That'd
James
be weird.
football. Ugh.
Theo Johnson was mocked in the one that I sent y'all, the tight end from Penn State. Uh, I don't know. I don't why they would need to divide and draft a tight end. To be honest with you, you
They
have Gasecki, you
play
have
with
Drew Sample.
six blockers. That's what you do. Well, that's what
Yeah,
we
let's
should be
see.
doing anyway.
Maybe guard. No, no. Zach Mentor. I know it's a school up north. He's the one that tore his leg up
Uh,
in the Ohio State game. He's probably decent. I mean, you can get him later because of the injury. I mean, he's a red shirt, but if you get him in the fifth,
right in the fifth round, we're no.
like, yeah,
Sure, you know what? Damn, I'm about to say
this
something.
is this is the
Yeah,
fourth
get
though. This is our
one
fourth
forty
round.
seven.
This is our
I
fourth
know
round
one.
pick.
Get take it.
Oh
Damn it!
my goodness.
Right.
Uh,
Oh fuck.
we
We're
still got
fucked
one
next
more
year.
round.
I know, but we're
We got
fucked next year.
why?
Next year. You said we're fucking everybody FAing. It's gonna be free agent next year.
Who besides T?
Or T, we got to get rid of that our left hand. I don't care if you're on contract or
Who?
not. Get rid of him.
Hubbard? Who?
Yes.
Hubbard? Oh, he's
Yeah.
getting up there. I think he is a free
Yeah.
agent though too.
Right.
So there you go. Two offensive linemen, two defensive tackles, and another. So no skill players at all, just straight trenches.
Straight.
Can't see the Bengals
That's
doing that, but that's fine.
probably not, but that's what they kind of. We need some diamonds,
Yeah, no,
or
they
at
need to
least
find some real players.
some real meat.
I
I
understand.
think we're skilled. If we can get some meat that can run block and pass
Mm,
protect, which is hard these days apparently,
mm,
then yeah, we can keep our quarterback upright for at least 12, 13 games a season.
right. Well, that's it, y'all. So I think in the past, what we've done on draft night, we've picked up usually about 10 picks before the Bengals pick. So if they're picking at 18, we'll probably pick up at 10 and, kind of see how it goes out on, a live stream version of this and kind of see how it goes. It was a lot better. Well, they were picking at midnight before, so we'll definitely be able to be in
I would
bed
love to pick
before
a
then at
midnight
this time.
every year.
Yeah, that'd be great. But so anyway, happy Akiliversary, sir. Just relive those
Fuck
25
off.
years. Relive those 25 years since that absolutely just shattered the team and franchise and
Shit. I mean,
our
that
hopes
whole
and goals.
the 90s total was just with him and that Oopa Looping from Klingler.
Klingler. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
we
goodness Mike
just
Brown's not fully in charge. That's basically what we're saying, yo. So anyway. All right. So remember you'll be able to find us iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all of those. No, Stitcher doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah, StreamYard, wherever you want to listen to this. And I'm good. You want to have exit music for the podcast side, sir?
I just said, damn, I just had this song by Sheryl Crow.
You said it, but I didn't quite catch
Yeah,
it.
fuck. If it makes you happy.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll stream that on the podcast side. The producer, I'm going to sign off. Go ahead and sign off, big fella.
I need alcohol.
Yeah, I figured as much. It was purposely
for the
set up that
arm and right for the arm and the mouth because
way.
that shit hurt.
Understood. Noted. We'll see everybody on the other side. Peace, everybody.
Peace.